right. You guys are the best. I love this. Oh, look at this. They're taking the seats. You're the best. Thank you. So I am Damian Holbrook from TV Guide Magazine, and I am so excited to be bringing you guys this supersized New York Comic Con panel for the Anne Rice Immortal Universe on AMC and AMC Plus. And I'm thrilled to be here with you guys because this fandom is just so lively for a bunch of undead fans. And we're going to be talking about two of our shows today. We've got the cast and the creatives behind the upcoming season of Anne Rice's Interview with the Vampire, now known as the Vampire Lestat. But first, we need to talk about our newest series in the Anne Rice Immortal Universe, Anne Rice's Talamasca, The Secret Order. And you guys, I can tell you, I've seen the show. It is 6 episodes. It is tight. Is that Akasha right there? Very nice. Very nice. So Talamasca, it's a 6-episode tight spy thriller. It's got a totally different vibe than Mayfair and Vampire. It's funny. It's bloody. It's sexy. And I am telling you, I've been watching TV for the last 250 years. And there are twists in this season of the Talamasca that I did not see coming, and one that is absolutely heartbreaking. I'm just going to say that. So I know. Okay, so it focuses obviously on the secret society of men and women who are responsible for tracking and monitoring the supernatural, the witches, the werewolves, the vampires. But they're only supposed to be observing. They're not supposed to be, involving themselves, and it's all across the globe. It stars an incredible ensemble cast. It has an incomparable guest cast, including Jason Schwartzman, Justin Kirk, as well as Eric Bogosian, who will be, those two, Justin and Eric, are reprising their roles from Vampire, obviously, and it comes from executive producer and Academy Award nominated John Lee Hancock and Mark Lafferty. They're both the showrunners. And then we have our executive producer and the award-winning and overseer of the entire Immortal Universe, Mark Johnson. So Anne Rice's Talamasca, as you probably know, premieres on October 26th with 2 episodes. So that's Sunday night. It's on AMC and AMC Plus, so do not miss. And as you can imagine, there's a lot to talk about. So I want to bring out our group so we can get right to it. So first we have executive producer and overseer of the Anne Rice Immortal Universe, Mark Johnson. Executive producer and showrunner, John Lee Hancock. Star Nicholas Denton, who plays Guy Anatoli. William Fichtner, who plays Jasper. And our very special guest vampire, Eric Bogosian. You guys can sit. Okay. You can sit. All right, so first I want to ask, before that, Eric, did you imagine at this stage of your career that you would be getting this kind of greeting at San Diego Comic-Con and then New York Comic-Con?
Yes.
Yeah. Classic Malloy. You guys are hysterical. So Mark, as the overseer, as the guy who's pulling the strings here, you're basically kind of like the Talamasca of the Immortal Universe.
What?
You're basically the Talamasca of the Immortal Universe. Let's talk about the genesis of this show. Where did the idea come from? Turn on his mic.
Am I on?
There we go.
All right. So Anne Rice does not have a book called The Talamasca, but she has the Talamasca in a number of her books, and it's a secret organization, incredibly well-funded, peopled by agents whose job is basically to observe, to report, and not to interfere, which seldom happens. And so anyhow, I thought, what a great premise, or if not premise, a situation a base for this show, and then thought, how do you build a spy story around it? And the first person I decided to call was my good friend and great writer, John Lee Hancock.
Okay, all right. So, John, joining the Immortal Universe, this is the third series in the world, but it's not based, like he said, on any specific book. What can you tell us about where you came up with this idea? Because I know you were a big fan, you and Mark Lafferty were both big fans of those 70s spy thrillers, right?
No doubt about that. The Paranoia trio, etc. But when Mark called and talked about the Talamasca, and I read more and more of the materials that Anne had written and throughout the books, etc. And I'd wanted to tell a spy story, and so I said, "Gosh, I wonder if I could do something like, what if John le Carré were writing a novel that happened to have supernatural and vampires in it?" And that was I set off on that, and I thought tonally it might be interesting, and also that they were two very different genres that the more time I spent with them, I realized that they both had, in the Venn diagram, there was a lot of crossover. There was lies, shadows, secrets, loneliness, and I thought those are things that are human elements, and those are things that I like to write. So from that point on, I was gung-ho.
And also, especially in both those universes, the spies and the supernatural, there's also that deep separation from family, which plays in heavily here as well, which gives Guy a ton of stuff to work with. Eric, obviously you are not new to this universe, and it's a very interesting way they weave you in. Because of the way Interview ended, we know that the book exists. The book is canon within the universe. But how do you end up crossing paths with Guy?
Guy finds that there is a piece of information in the book that he needs to know more about. Let's leave it at that for now. And I'm doing a book signing, and he comes to the book signing, and instead of asking for an autograph, he writes in it, what about page, 396 or something. And I immediately know that he's up to something. So I agree to meet with him. And essentially what happens is, I'm a vampire, so every human I meet is basically a delicious meal waiting to be eaten. And yet this guy has this incredible power and charisma that pulls me into having just enough empathy for him to try to, what does he want from me? And I give him some hints. And then when we shot it, we didn't know each other before we did the scene, and that's actually what happened in the scene, was working with Nick. I kept feeling Nick's charisma, and he kept pulling me toward his energy in a way that was so positive and so empathetic that I kind of, like, my nasty took the back seat, and instead, for a second there, I decided, and then I tell him, get out of here before something happens that you don't want to have happen.
And now, Nick, aside from having this deep, deep charisma that even affects Eric, Guy...
Yeah, thanks a lot, Eric. I appreciate that, man.
Guy's smart. He's, a law school grad. He's got some ambition, but he also has something else going on.
Yeah, he's got this this ability, this thing, he's heard voices for years, since he was a kid, and he's always thought that was something that was a mental illness of sorts, so he's heavily medicated himself. But he actually does find out that he has the mind-reading capabilities. And that's what sort of begins to happen with Daniel Malloy in this scene. And I think that maybe gives him a little bit more leverage in all of it. At some point, at the top of the scene, it could be very easy to see Daniel Malloy just squashing Guy like a bug. But there is something that Guy has that piques the curiosity of Daniel. And I think that puts us on a level playing field. So I like that scene so much because it has this beautiful kind of journey throughout where there's a fear at the top, then there's a power battle, and we're sparring all the time. But as soon as he uses that ability, he starts to get a little bit more, a little bit more footing in the battle, and it's quite a dynamic scene, and I enjoyed it.
I like the scene because it's in a dark, scary alley.
It was in Manchester. There's a lot of dark, scary alleys.
All dark alleys. Speaking of dwellers of dark alleys, William, Jasper, your character, who does have exquisite taste in his home space. It is a lovely, lovely accommodation, but he is also a terrifying monster person. And we've seen the clips. We've seen the clips. We know that this guy is a bad guy, but exactly how would you explain how bad he is?
A, misunderstood. But I would like to say this. The night that you guys were shooting your scene, I did not have a scene with you. I was back at the hotel, and I found out you were in town that night shooting it. So I left my hotel room at 12:30 at night to go over so I could meet you. Shook your hand, sat down in your trailer for like 10 minutes, said, what a pleasure. And hopefully we get to do something in the
It was
future.
an honor, and I'm lobbying for that moment.
Lobby away.
Yeah.
What was your question again?
How bad is this? How bad is this misunderstood monster?
It's not bad at all. I mean, and that was part of the joy of working on this, on Telemasca, because I've said it a million times, if it's not on the page, it's not on the stage. And what John Lee and the entire writers and Mark Lafferty, co-showrunner, what they put together was something that was so grounded in this world that it was a pleasure to discover who Jasper is. And what you find out is it's not all about, it's just wonderful to figure out what is driving this guy, which is very real things to him.
And again, I'm not spoiling it, but what we find out and what drives him is fascinating and sets up a really big story. But this is also a guy who does not get his hands dirty.
Just his eye teeth, but that's another thing altogether.
So before hopefully we'll get a scene where Jasper meets Daniel, but we do have the scene where Guy meets Jasper. And for you guys only, in this room, we're gonna show it to you. So this is your first exclusive look at Guy and Jasper meeting, so let's roll that clip. I love that his name is Checkers. Like it's like the Cujo version of a person, but he's got the sweetest name. What can you tell us about these Revenants?
It's quite a process in the hair and makeup trailer. No, we have Bill Brown. Who plays Checkers. I've never seen an actor go after something and embrace it so much and just dive into it. It was just a joy to be around him and watch him. Like Jasper said in the scene, it's a little pet project, and you figure out why it is that I created them. They're there for a reason, and you guys will all discover it when it airs.
It's amazing because Bill Brown has this very strong English accent. So every time that he'd come on and he was talking off camera, he'd be like, "Hello, how are you?" And it's very funny to see Checkers have that affectation.
So a Shakespearean trained, an amazing actor, and then he sometimes just has to do everything with his eyes. And it's amazing. He's incredible.
It's
What's
fantastic.
remarkable is he didn't realize the extent of his role. So he thought he was cast basically to be killed and work a couple of days. And we said, "What are you kidding? It's your afterlife that we want." And he probably worked 2 months.
Nicholas and William, that scene, very much like a lot of your scenes, Nick, are at nighttime,
Right,
in dingy places.
right.
He's not running in classy circles. What was it like filming? Because this is like a dank dirt room.
That is a dank dirt room.
I kind of liked it. No, it was on a soundstage. It was a great set.
Okay.
Yeah, we shot that at Space Studios in Manchester, but I mean, a lot of the stories, guy interacting with vampires, and if you're shooting with vampires, you have to shoot between a certain hour, nighttime. So we shoot 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. a lot of the time. And that's a heavy hit, but I think it kind of brings us together. We get into that kind of loopy stage where we're kind of shooting, we're not really sure what's going on, and everything feels kind of possible. So for Guy and for Nicholas, I'm like, this feels pretty real.
Feels good. I'm freezing, but feels
Freezing my
great,
ass off,
man.
but it's good.
I was literally unsnapping my fangs at 3 a.m. last night in Toronto.
Oh, do you have your nails on still? Wait, do you still have your nails on? They're off?
The nails I clipped off this morning because I'm sort of at a. They're there. They're sort of there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
He was bowling last night. We were shooting in a bowling alley.
Yeah. Mark and John, the cast, we have some actors that couldn't make it today. We have this incredible ensemble. You have Elizabeth McGovern, who's incredible. You have Maisie Sellers Richardson, who's amazing. Celine Buckins, who is, I feel like people are going to go crazy about this woman's performance. Can you tell us about these characters that they're playing?
Oh, I mean, how lucky am I? I mean, to be able to attract actors of this caliber and also these other ones. And look, and by the way, those three you just named are so good that they are so in demand that Maisie's working on a movie, and both Celine and Elizabeth are in plays and on the stage. I mean, these are really fine working actors, and so the ability to not only write for, but to spend time with and direct and interact with these people was just kind of amazing. And every step of the way, I mean, from the casting standpoint, just like, wow. So I don't know. I'm really thankful.
So let's talk about these. So you got Helen, who is Elizabeth McGovern, and she's, how would you describe her?
She's awesome. Elizabeth, I've been a fan of Elizabeth for a long time, from the time she was much younger, and she's always had this kind of calm presence, but very real, very honest, forthright, righteous when she needed to be, even when she was younger and all the way through her career. And so the fact that we were able to cast her to play Helen, who is prone to half-truths when necessary, somebody that you might not trust completely, really meshes well with Elizabeth. Also has such a maternal instinct. She has such a beautiful soft face, and her voice is just the stuff you want her to read every book to you in the car. But the thing is, so when you've got that mixed with the do I trust her, it makes it really perilous for Guy, for sure. And she's just super, super, super smart. I mean, she's in a play right now. She was just in New York. I saw her, a play that she's written. She's a fantastic writer as well. So anyway, she's the full deal.
That first scene that we did in Suffolk Park was like the first day we were shooting. We were in Liverpool, matching for Central Park, and it was the first time that I was working across from Elizabeth, and she did something that she just gave a read on a line that kind of dropped everything into a real reality. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember it well. It was our first scene to shoot for the show, and we're there, and the scene's good and everything, and it's an important scene. And she brought one more level of depth to it that was so maternal, and it's something that I've heard every mother tell their young child before in a way that sounded like she needed it to be true. And it's a half-truth. What she says is a half-truth, but it's so maternally committed that I just remember thinking after that take going, wow, man, both these guys came to play. This is going to be so much fun to watch.
I think it changed the dynamic between us because I went in with one read on what Helen was, and I kind of was like, oh, I can't help but not want to trust you after she gave me that. And it was a really beautiful setup because, yeah, she's fantastic.
She's an American, but she's lived in England now for almost 30 years and is married to an Englishman. So she has an accent that's somewhere mid-Atlantic, and it helps the character because you can't quite ground her. You can't quite say, oh, she's from here or there. So there's something always slightly mysterious about her.
Almost ethereal at times.
Definitely.
Yeah. And then you have Maisie as basically Nick's guy's handler. And does she handle him?
She does handle me. Yeah. At times, yes, it can be quite intense. But yeah, she does help me a lot. And you'll see over the episodes, she's a super mysterious character. Maisie is an incredible actor and such a joy to work with. But she has this stoic, strong power that she brings to that character that really, you just want to be on the ride with her. She's fantastic.
And then Celine has a vulnerability that you wouldn't expect from a witch.
No, you wouldn't expect that. And I think that's something that she has that softness, that gentleness, but this fire that burns inside. It's just so funny. I was thinking about this when we were in San Diego and how we all came out and we all kind of sat on the panel. Me, Maisie, Celine, Jasper, and Bill. And we all kind of were telling everybody our powers. And I felt like we were on some kind of superhero panel. And it was like our first day of Harry Potter or something. I was like, this is actually insane. We're saying this. But yeah, they've all got amazing qualities, all those actors.
Eric, what did you think when you first heard from them about coming into this?
Oh, I love it. I love it. I mean, it's a pretty simple formula that we have these 3 different series that create a universe. So what you end up with is the sum of the 3 is greater than the 3. You then start to have this, it just opens up the imagination that it goes off in so many different directions, and then it just gets so much more expansive. And yeah, I love the idea of, you know, walking out of one door and into another door, and I'm in another completely different place with a whole different set of energies and stuff. This whole universe has been a thrill for me. I love it.
Right. Nicholas, although you didn't have to deal with any prosthetics.
Pardon?
You didn't have to deal with any prosthetics, right?
No, I didn't have to deal with any prosthetics.
How weird is it, though, to be acting against somebody who is in them?
I think there is a sense of just suspending your disbelief a little bit more than what you usually do. Watching all of these characters come in and out of these doors, all these kind of with the contact lenses and the nails and then checkers and then revenants to boot. Like, we got a lot going on in this. But you just have to kind of commit to playing against them as if it's real. And I think you're scared because sometimes you are genuinely scared. If you've seen Checkers, you know how scary that character is. I felt that in that moment. And he went for me. He went for me in a big way.
Thank God I had that clicker. I mean, let's just face it, I saved the day. I did. I saved production.
Also, right.
Production would have shut down.
Set the whole thing up.
It's the greatest thing because you're dealing with a lot of high-tech stuff, like the spyware and all this stuff, and then you've got you basically using like the clapper.
But that's a
I
good.
got that clicker with me, so
There were discussions. There were discussions about this, and there was something about I liked that. I go, everybody's going to recognize that sound from a dog or something like that. I go, just keep it really, really analog.
Yeah.
You know, I just love that about that.
Mark, how do you make sure that the shows, I mean, obviously they all have different tones and different stories, but how do you make sure that they still share some sort of connective DNA?
That's a really good question. I don't know that it's something deliberately try to do, but they, you know, what these shows, look, we're so lucky that we started, our maiden voyage was, happens to be Interview with the Vampire. So I knew that was going to happen. And I mean, it's an extraordinary television show. And Roland Jones, who created it, and the entire cast, and you're going to meet a lot of them shortly. It's this great basis, this great anchor from which to work. And then we have Mayfair Witches, which is really entertaining. And now this show, all three of them, on one hand, couldn't be more different, but they have themes and characters, and I think concerns all tied together. So on one hand, you're not going to be confused when you're watching an Interview with the Vampire and think, oh, is this Mayfair Witches? But you will say there is a connection. And that's what we want to do. And so we have, as you know, a certain amount of shared actors who come and go, but we're going to be very judicious about it and make sure that when Eric Bogosian shows up in another show that that there's a reason for it.
Okay. We have time for a couple quick audience questions if you want, but I will have to cut it in like 5 minutes because we have something special to show you. So let's have the nun. Because that's not terrifying.
That's okay. Hi, I'm Lisa. I'm from Buffalo, New York. So howdy, neighbor, well. And I wanted to know, it's a tremendous weight of responsibility to bring this world to life, that because she is Anne is such a talented author, it must feel like such a privilege to do this, to bring this world into ours.
That it feels it's such a privilege to take Anne Rice's world and kind of totally. It does feel like a real privilege, and I think our kind of
It's a real honor, and there's a real responsibility comes to it because we need to do justice to her works.
You do a beautiful job. Thank you.
of course.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. As a Manchester local, I'm sorry. Just throwing that out there.
No, we loved Manchester.
What?
no, truly.
We're Mancunians now. Come on.
Excellent. Who do you support, though? That's not my question. Sorry, I had to throw that out there. What superpower or power would you have that's not something you already have as your character? Is my question. There you go. Thanks.
I love that question so much because I think I have this real need to levitate. That's something that it's just been in me since I was younger. I dream about levitating. I want to levitate. All I want to do is do that. That would be my power if I could. What about you?
Are you levitating today?
Yeah, I'm levitating.
Okay, right now.
This chair's not here.
Eric?
Well, the older a vampire gets, they can get better and better powers. They can have the fire gift, or they can fly. I'm a very new vampire, so I'm trying to aspire past what the level I'm at. The level I'm at is I'm a really good bowler. So anything better than that, I would take at this point.
Fly?
Yeah, I would like to be able to fly, sure.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah,
Mind
you
reading.
need to work on that. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Kristen. I'm from Toronto. Yay.
Go Blue Jays.
Woo!
Wrong city for that, Mark.
So I'm really curious. Obviously, Anne Rice is the inspiration, but both from an acting and a writing perspective, what other materials you take inspiration from when writing and creating characters in the universe.
Sure. It was great to have Anne's books, Anne's writing about the Talamasca, creating the Talamasca, presenting Talamascan agents, et cetera, in her work. Trying to come at it from the kind of the spy world, I thought, God, what I'd love to do is if I could create something or write something that felt like John le Carré writing a novel that had vampires in it.
Cool.
So I leaned heavily into the spy world of that. But yeah, it's been so much fun.
Cool.
I sometimes look at different books, sometimes that don't necessarily have anything to do with it. Like I read John Steinbeck's The Pearl, which is all about obsession, and I found that very helpful. But recently I just saw Jacob's Ladder, which is an incredibly kind of powerful movie and super gnarly. But I really found a weird comparison for somebody thrust into a world that has kind of immortals or things from the underworld that really pierce and hit you psychologically. And yeah, I think if I went back in time, I'd watch it before I'd done the show, but oh well.
All right, thank you. Or have you pulled any inspiration from it?
I wanted to say one thing, that Anne Rice was a genius, and she deftly used the supernatural to explore really, really serious questions that I personally would like to ponder, and explores them in such a way that there's no facile answers in her, in the way she plots everything out, and the way it all evolves and gets woven together. And I love it for that reason, because I mean, immortality, that's a question by itself. Like, would you want to be immortal or not? And she asks those questions, a lot of them. I love it. I love it.
Here.
All right, so I just got the signal that I have to cut it off now because I actually have two things to show you now. So this little phone here is telling me some stuff. So first, we're gonna watch Guy and Daniel meet. So let's roll that. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We have let's look at the what's to come this season on the Talamasca, and then some of these guys are going to go, and some are staying, and I'm going to bring out some more people for you. So let's see what's coming up this season on the Talamasca. 2-episode premiere. You guys are amazing. Thank you to the cast and crew of the Talamasca, The Secret Order.
Thank you, guys.
I think you stay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. You stay too. All right, so now let's switch over to the first series in the universe, Anne Rice's interview with the vampire. Formerly known as Interview with the Vampire, now the Vampire Lestat. The Emmy-winning second season gave us so much. As the kids would say, it fed us. We got a theater full of vampires. We got war-torn Europe. We got stage actors. We got flying vampires. We got a hurricane. We've got an unspoken scene that nobody knows what was said. We have 2 tragic losses. I know. We have at least 1 massive betrayal. And we had 1 season that we will never forget. So how do you top season 2? You bring in the rock star. This brand new season, The Vampire Lestat, gives us Lestat's rock star era, the good, the bad, the ugly, the bloody. It introduces us to some incredible new characters. I have no idea what that is. We're going on tour. We're getting a ton of music. We're getting a ton of shirtless Sam Reed. I knew you'd like that. So brace yourselves. And I am going to bring them out. I'm going to ask you to show them a warm, lovely welcome, as you have. And I'm going to warn my audiologist that I'm going to need to talk to him on Monday. We've got our executive producer overseeing the Anne Rice Immortal Universe again, Mark Johnson. Who's over there? Yeah. We have, and this is my favorite, this is her first time on stage with the gang. We've got executive producer and writer Hannah Moskovich. Will you please scream for me and for Lestat, Mr. Sam Reed, Mr. Louis DuPont, Dulac, Jacob Anderson, the mother of all of them, Gabriella Jennifer Ely, Eric Bogosian back as Daniel Malloy, and you wanted him back in San Diego, and we got him today, Assad Zaman as Armand. Wow.
Damn, I was hoping they'd be excited.
I know. All right, so good to see you guys.
We couldn't hear a thing.
Not a thing.
That's why
Sorry
we didn't.
about that. Yeah, I was just like working off this, and I'm like, I think something's happening. You guys are amazing again. All right, so Sam, let's first just jump right into it. Why do you think, now that you have played this guy for so long and you've been surrounded by these characters, why are these characters becoming so important to people?
Well, it's nice to think that they are becoming important to people. That's a nice thing to think about just to begin with. I guess because they're like it's so fucked up. You know, like it's so extreme. I hope this person doesn't mind me saying this, and I won't say their name, but somebody came up to me at the start of the year and said, I just want to say thank you. This show has reminded me that I can feel again. And I think it's kind of like, you know, and this is a big credit to Hannah and Roland, is the extremities in which we get to go to and the situations that we're put in as actors and, you know, watching the show unfold and the characters sort of unfold. It's kind of a wild abandon, you know? We can go up there and, you know, 95% of the time just make absolute fools of ourselves. But, you know, like I think we've got the audience behind us, hopefully most of the time. And we can make a fool on your behalf, and you know, we can laugh and cry about it together. So yeah, I think hopefully that's.
And Jacob, Louise, I own the night.
It's a very common name, guys.
Yes, I own the night. It's a total mic drop. Seriously, what is that? Fascinating to me. I'm like, we may be flooding right now. The I Own the Night is such a great setup for wherever this guy is about to become. What can you tell us about him when we pick up?
You can only own the night for so long, right? I feel like Louis is at a really moving, beautiful place at the end of season 2. I think I think that's all real, and I think he's found like a sense of being in the present. However, I'm stealing this from Hannah. She said this earlier. I thought it was amazing. That like you can put the dress on the wall, you can put the portrait on the wall, but ultimately, his child died, and that's not something you just get over. So yeah. There's a lot of really exciting Louis de Poindulac invention this season from Hannah and Roland, and I don't want to ruin any of it because it's really fucked up.
But in like the absolute Anne Rice-iest way.
Yeah.
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 And now Eric, where's Eric? There we go. You moved. You are now, as we talked about in the previous panel, you're now a vampire. You're a new vampire. So how is he assimilating to this? How's he handling this?
It's not easy. You become a vampire at different stages in your life. In my case, it's very late in life. So there's a lot of Daniel as human being in Daniel. And this struggles with these new powers he gets. And also, Daniel wasn't if you go all the way back to the very first moments of our series, Daniel's a kind of a grumpy guy hanging around his house in his socks, watching TV, pissed off. So he's kind of a pissed off guy, and so now pissed off guys with power can be dangerous. And so that's sort of what happens. It's, what does Lestat call it? Traumatic something.
Transformational trauma.
Transformational trauma.
Is that a song title?
I beg your pardon?
Okay.
That's from season 3. It's a spoiler.
Yeah. All right. Now, Assad. Such a troublemaker.
Did you hear that, Sam?
I'm screaming inside. I just can't stop myself from screaming too. I just sit there silently.
Armand caused so much shit last season. He broke Louis' heart. The ultimate betrayal with Claudia. So much. He destroyed the house. You guys destroyed the apartment.
I'll talk to him.
Yeah.
I'll have a
But-
word with him.
But how do you feel about him being daddy to Daniel? Because I've already seen the fan art.
I have to be honest, that's the first time I've heard it referred to as daddy, and I like it. We can keep that, right? Can we keep that, Eric? He likes it too.
But how?
Sorry, I didn't even listen to your question. I just heard.
He's a bad daddy.
Oh. He was a bad boyfriend. What is the dynamic between these two? Because he ruined everything for you, but also you deserved it, so.
I'm trying to figure out a way to talk about it without revealing too much, because where we left them last season.
You know when a little kid.
Eric's gonna do it for
You know when a little kid has like a stuffed animal when they're very small, and they just drag it around for like years and years, and it only has one eye after a while, and it's all torn up, and that's his approach to Daniel.
Okay. So some people would say those toys were well loved.
Yeah.
What he thinks of as love. That's his idea of love.
It's tattered, it's broken, but it's mine.
Okay.
All right, Mark.
Enough.
So there's.
Enough.
I have to get this back on track because I think there might be children here.
I haven't heard a word you said.
There's so much of a tone shift with this season because of the music world that you're entering. How has that been basically hitting restart on the show and adding all of this stuff with Daniel Hart and the recordings and the having to film performance scenes?
What Rolland and Hannah and this cast have come up with in this season is so unpredictable and so surprising. On one hand, it makes total sense. These are the characters we know and we love, but it is the most, somebody just described it as the most fucked up. It's the most surprising. It reminds me of those movies that have just changed my way of looking at things. And it's so imagistic and so wild and unexpected and jaw-dropping and funny and, yes, like the first two, really romantic.
All right. Okay. Now, Jennifer, welcome to the family. When it was announced at San Diego that you were coming in as Gabriella, people went nuts. This is Lestat's mother. This is a woman who has been described as chaotic. This is a woman who's near death at one point, and then she's also really problematic. What can you tell us about her, and why the Gabriella versus Gabrielle?
Well, the Gabriella versus Gabrielle, I don't know. Roland just texted me and said, she's Italian. Shouldn't it be Gabriella? And I said, sure. So that's how that happened. I don't know. But, yeah, chaotic. I guess. I mean, she kind of creates chaos. She kind of thrives in creating it. I think she's had so little agency in her life, and she was married at 15 to somebody she didn't choose, and he was horrible, and she had no hope. But she had this boy, and she kind of, I think, had her hopes in him in a really fucked up way. Several really fucked up ways. But yes, And then she becomes a vampire, and she's liberated and has power in a way that she never would have dreamt of. Or I think she did dream of, but it seemed impossible.
And Sam earlier today described her as a stick of dynamite.
That's a good, I like that.
I didn't call you a stick of dynamite, I just called you dynamite.
Dynamite. Absolutely, just all dynamite. How is
at least
how
a
would
bundle.
How would you describe their dynamic?
Really fucked up.
Yeah.
Our dynamic?
Yeah.
Gabriella and
Yeah.
Lestat? Whoa. I actually ask myself that question every day. I feel like, Hannah, we're having that conversation every day. I'm like, what is this dynamic? And it is as complicated as you could possibly imagine. And you know, the wonderful thing that is very present in the books, and something that's perhaps something that Hannah can speak to more than me, is this kind of attempt at going, but I'm a vampire, so everything's kind of fine. Like, because, you know, and, well, you know, because I'm a monster, and that's fine, And, you know, there's this thing about, you know, well, the longer you live, the closer you become to who you really are, you know? And I guess the dynamic is, there is a fundamental, you know, relationship that is the core of who they are, but they also are a lot of other things as well.
Just leave it at that for right now. Jacob, do you get to meet her?
Do I get to what?
Does Louis meet Gabriella? Because I'm wondering if, like,
have we met?
Hi, I'm Jennifer.
Hi, Jacob.
Nice to meet you.
Because I would imagine it would be like, oh, that explains a lot. Once he meets her. Be like, oh, I get him now. Hannah, what can you tell us?
Maybe.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
Yeah, so Hannah, because we've talked about this as well, I was on set watching a scene, which, by the way, I don't think this is spoiling anything, but we'll finally get some characters who've never really met or talked to each other interacting a lot this season, which is wild to watch, trust me. But the book, The Vampire Lestat, does not have a lot of modern storytelling. It's a lot of the backstory. So you got to create the story, the modern story of the season. How did you decide, because there's so many things that are referenced later on in books or in past books, like how did you go about picking and choosing which portions of Lestat's life and Gabriella's life and Louis' life to bring into this one?
For me.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, so we pulled from a number of books in order to make this season. I think you were there when we were pulling from other books as well, like one of those days. But yeah, we pulled from Merrick.
Yeah.
And we pulled from The Vampire Armand. And Queen of the Damned. But in terms of how we chose which pieces of The Vampire Lestat to use this season, so because we're running it through the subjectivity of Lestat, it has to do with what he wants to remember, what he's willing to remember, and then what memories are going to come for him, whether he likes it or not.
Yeah. Okay. And there's also there is an arc that people have been dying for involving Daniel and Armand. I'm assuming that we should expect to see some minions. All right. We'll just leave it at that. And in fact, instead, we'll try to pick as many clues as we can from this exclusive extended look. Yeah. Okay. So, I think they're excited.
That's all right.
Sam, this seems like it was a lot of physical work for you. We appreciate that. How has it been? Because becoming a singer, like becoming a rock star and doing all of that, your schedule and your process has got to have been incredibly intense.
Yeah, but it's really fun. Like it's it's exhausting. Like I would be lying if I said like it's, we shoot this show quite fast. For the amount, as you can see, like there's a lot to fill in the amount of time, but it is so much fun to get like drenched in blood and sing a rock anthem or fly through the sky and sing a ballad, like have smoke and horses and fangs and eyes and, stunt rigs and explosions and like, every day is something. But it's so exciting. And I think Jennifer said this to me the other day, like you feel like a little kid on set. I mean, so you're just having the best time of your life.
Oh.
So yeah.
She looks like she's having a good time. Like, she might be the first one who really enjoys being a vampire.
I love it.
Yeah.
I really
She's getting hers. Yeah. Jacob and Eric, I love the opening of that clip because we are having that reckoning of what the book presented. And because season 1 and 2 were your point of view, but it's being filtered through his writing. So what did you learn about Louis in this 3rd season based on what he was presented in as the book?
Lies. More lies. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting, their dynamic this season, because the book was released without Louis' consent. Mm-hmm. I wish Louis had learned about the cloud before setting fire to a physical laptop. It might have helped. But yeah, I think it sets up a really interesting dynamic between them because ultimately Louis trusted Daniel and Daniel trusted Louis and Louis didn't stop him from being killed and resurrected. So there's like I'm too tired to not like just give away the whole plot.
Right. They literally flew in, like Assad literally flew in about an hour ago. We appreciate it, yes. He has some explaining to do. When we come back, where is his relationship with Louis?
I think the more important question for me going into this season was where's his relationship with himself? And that informs how everyone else fits around it or doesn't.
And Hannah and Mark, so the book is written before the idea of a throuple was a thing. So it's very easy to be like, oh, it's a love triangle. One has to go to the other. Was there ever a discussion in the writer's room of like, let's just put them all together?
No.
Of all of the things you guys have come up with, nobody was like, oh yeah, threesome.
Why? I'm like, I don't think anyone likes each other very much right now.
Same side of the coin, you know? Do any of us? How fun is it, though, for you now to get to write these characters in such a new world?
Oh my God, it's such a huge pleasure because this season reinvents them so completely, and the season itself is so radical because we've changed lead character, and so the whole story is run through a different perspective now. And it's informed, like, we had forgive me, we had a moody existentialist.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
And now we have, like,
Maximalist.
and now we have a train wreck.
Yeah.
A hurricane, a hot hurricane.
A hot hurricane.
And so it's just a really different way to write. Yeah.
It's got to be super fun because that was a totally different Louis than we'd seen before.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And also, so in addition to Jennifer and a couple other people that have been announced, there are some characters that you want to talk about, right, Mark?
Akasha. This has taken a while, but an actress named Sheila Atim is going to play Akasha. And then I don't think it's been announced, but it's very important that everybody know that Lestat's inspired band is made up of Noah Reed, Ryan Katner, Seamus Patterson, and the very funny and talented Sarah Schweier.
All right. So I have a bunch of other questions, but I want to let you guys have some questions because they never get to have like audience questions. So be careful.
Oh my God.
My Lord alive. Oh my God. All right, so let's start this real fast because we've got a clock ticking us down. So let's start right here.
I'm going first.
You're going first.
Hi, everybody. My name is Lolly, and I am from the Bronx by way of Jersey. Okay, I didn't think I would be first question. I'm so sorry, I'm nervous. So I am a social worker, and I'm gonna check in on all of your mental health and ask you how you're doing. Also, holding characters who hold a lot of trauma and pain, how do you find your comfort to find their qualities that allow you to portray them as likable and dynamic, but also as you as humans take care of yourself and create safe boundaries for the material, and also from a fandom that at times can be overwhelming and
we got 8 minutes.
Very loud. I hear you. One last thing I just want to say, because I'll never get another opportunity to say this. Jacob, I work on a crisis hotline for teens, and I just want to say thank you for your music because it helps people stay. And it saves lives. Thank you.
Thank you. That's really nice. Thank you. I'll say that to your point, I think, and it's because Hannah and Rollin and the writers care about what they're doing and care about the characters. I've found Louis really cathartic, like in all of his complication. I think he's really helped me actually to work through lots of different things, not because we're the same, but I think, I don't want to speak for everybody here, but I think we don't try and make the characters likable. I think we just care about them and see them as human.
Full picture.
Yeah, I think everybody cares. Everyone really cares very deeply about these characters. And I think that's how you keep it safe for yourself as well.
You know, as writers, I think we try to tell the truth about what it's like to be human. Yeah, we just try to tell the truth in all its complexity and fucked upness. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Go ahead.
Hi,
Hi, my name is Lisa. I have a question for the actors. If you could describe your character's arc within season 3 in one word, what would it be?
Why don't you start on this end? Come in.
Hungry.
Revenge.
Just one. Gosh. Empowering, manipulative. Don't know. I can't. I could go on. Yes.
Unresolved.
Failure.
All right, thank you. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm from South Carolina, and my question is for Sam. So, in season 1 and 2, we got Louis' version of Lestat and a little bit of Armand's version as well. And now with season 3, we have Lestat's version of Lestat. So, what has it been like playing all of these different versions of the same character?
Yeah, we don't. I think you think about it at the very beginning, where you're like, is this scene real or is this not? And then you kind of work it out from there. But when you're in the moment, you just got to play the scene for the moment, because you need to commit for it. If you don't commit fully, then you kind of like ruin the scene in a way. Because like, this didn't happen, even though I know that sometimes it's a bit annoying that we talk about it. But so I think I loved Armand's Lestat. I just like the swashbuckling and the romance of it all, and the kind of assholeness of it all, and and obviously Louis, there's this like, he's processing a breakup and it's taking a long time to get through it. So you're remembering the worst parts of that relationship with things that you can't forget and you wish you could. I think Lestat playing himself as his own version, it's not a version. It's not his version. There is a version where he's like, this is what I am, and he's presenting, but he's always performative. So that is the character. He's always performing something, but he can't escape what he is, and who he truly is. So the curtain gets dropped all the time. And yes, I say this a lot, but it's really fun to make this kind of very arch character that's like has a lot of performative elements to it, and then go, what happens when we just take it all away, and what's underneath, and who is there? Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hello, everyone. My name is Gina. Okay, so I love all the relationships in the show, but I love Lestat and Armand. Can you guys give us a hint of like them in the past and maybe the present as well?
A hint.
Talk about it.
A hint. Oh, I don't want to give it away. You've got so long until it comes out.
Don't get.
How about that? You're gonna get it a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, I think they're a great dynamic. My favorite thing about this, about Lestat and Armand, is just like how different they are, and yet they have such an innate understanding of each other. And so I think that's kind of, I find it's such an interesting relationship. And what do you think about it?
I don't know. Watch it. You'll see some.
You won't be disappointed.
Yeah. You won't.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, is it my turn? Okay. Hi, I'm Ling from Seattle. I guess my question for the actors is, what was your favorite location to film scenes at for this season?
Location. Look, we shoot on physical sets that people have made. Extraordinary rooms that are designed down to the thread on the floor. It's just thread on the floor. I'm so tired. So I don't know what I'm saying. the patterns on the floor. You know what I mean? I think, to be honest, like there are some incredible sets. So the locations are made up places, which are beautiful. I can't wait for you to see them.
Lestat's tour bus is
Yeah, the bus is
insane.
amazing.
Oh.
The inside of the
tour
tour
bus.
bus.
Yeah.
Tour bus.
Yeah.
All right. We have time for one last one because we're down to 27 seconds, so go ahead. Sorry.
So, I'm Laurie. Hi. I came all the way from France to see you, so hello. And this is Kendra. She's from Boston, and she's my friend, and she's going to ask the question.
Okay, yeah, I'm Kendra from Boston. My question is, if you could, as vampires, if you could choose a fictional character from any universe to, kill, eat, what would you, who would you choose?
There's one or two from this universe that I would quite gladly.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Yeah. Why must they be fictional? Yeah.
They
Oh,
could be real.
God. Do you guys have any fictional characters you'd want to turn into vampires?
The only person I want to kill isn't fictional.
Just to be clear as well, those people, they wouldn't be turned into vampires that
no,
you
no.
were referring to.
You have to be killed by a vampire. You know, in terms of fictional characters, just to take it lighter, I wouldn't mind knowing what a Simpson tastes like.
Right? Probably not great. Probably not great.
Yeah.
All right, so on that, I have to wrap it because it's so weird.
I'm sorry,
I see
can
your
I
book.
pass a gift real quick?
Oh, we got a gift?
Yeah. Can I give a gift to Assad, please?
Oh.
Thank you. That's sweet.
The little gremlin got a gift. And so with that, I do have to wrap. I'm so sorry, you guys. I need to thank you guys so much for an incredible panel. 2026 cannot get here fast enough. Everyone, give it up for the Vampire